Well, we had a Game 7 last night. We've got another Game 7 coming tonight. But there is an awful lot to discuss in the world of the Big Ten. Much to get to, but we begin with the audio. I'm sorry. Avert your gaze. Close your ears. Cover your eyes. Whatever you need to do if you are a Utah Jazz fan to not have to hear the end of this game. And by the way, before we play the end of this game, Game 7 between the Jazz and the Nuggets, how much would that missed layup have lived in infamy if the Jazz, Mike Conley, had actually drained that three to win Game 7? That would be one of the worst missed layups in NBA history. Instead, it's going to slide completely into the dustbin of history. This is what it sounded like. Again, I'm sorry, Jazz fans, as Mike Conley attempted a three that would have won Game 7 at the buzzer against the Denver Nuggets.
Donovan Mitchell spins on Harris, gets to the dotted line, lost the basketball, loose ball down to Jamal Murray, Denver's got the numbers, off to Craig, layup no good, rebound down to Gobert, you gotta hurry, 2 seconds left, three-pointer Conley, missed it at the hard, let's bring on the LA Clippers, let's go Nuggets Nation, come on!
So, the Nuggets are on to play the Clippers. What do we think about this series? We think that the Clippers are in really good shape to handle the Nuggets, who they've played very well against over the course of the season. And let's be honest, the Nuggets have not quite been ready for prime time. Yes, they came back from a 3-1 series deficit against the Jazz, and they've been playing lights out. But this is the same franchise that also found a way to lose against the Portland Trailblazers last year, and typically finds a way to lose pretty much every time a series really gets intense and it really seems like there's a lot at stake. The Nuggets are not exactly known for their basketball history. So I've been saying this for months now, since I went back in October, which seems like 15 years ago, and watched in the Staples Center the opener of the NBA season between the Clippers and the Lakers. I was there with my bosses, Scott Shapiro, Don Martin. We had a fantastic time. Again, back in October, it feels like it might as well have been 15 years ago to even think about being in a crowded arena watching a major sporting event. I can't wait till we're back able to do that again. But we now have got a matchup for the Clippers, and I believe the Clippers will handle the Nuggets with ease. I think the Lakers are going to end up playing against the Rockets. That's my prediction for what happens in tonight's game. And I believe the Lakers and the Clippers, as we have expected for months, will be meeting up in the Western Conference Finals. We'll get a lot of the NBA. We got plenty of time to talk NBA in the future, but this segues into pretty easily a conversation that I'm going to be having with Joel Klatt, which is about college football. And for those of you out there who've been listening to this show, you know that I have been obsessed and will remain obsessed with what exactly is going to happen in college football all the way up till we officially get underway. And there was a ton going on yesterday in the world of college football, and I kind of hinted at it a little bit. If you go back and you listen to the podcast, I said, hey, I think there's going to be some conversations that take place that make it more likely that the Big Ten could end up playing college football this fall. And what will those conversations look like? Well, the president himself tweeted out that he had made a telephone call to speak with the commissioner of the Big Ten. Now, the White House set this all up. And I think you got to give credit to the White House for reaching out. I think you have to give credit to the commissioner of the Big Ten for taking that call. And I believe there is a goal on both sides here. I think it can be very positive for Kevin Warren, the commissioner of the Big Ten, and I think it can be very positive for Donald Trump, obviously the president of the United States, to figure out a way to get the Big Ten back and play college football this fall in the Big Ten. And I'm not talking about play college football in November. I'm not talking about play college football in December. I'm not talking about for the Big Ten playing in January or February. I'm talking about finding a way to get back and play either in late September or early October so that you are roughly playing concurrently with all the other major conferences in college football. And how did that happen? How would that happen? A lot of people out there looking around, trying to figure out, could the Big Ten really find a way to end up playing? And I think the answer is yes. But what would have to change is the commissioners and the chancellors would have to change their vote. So it came out that the commissioners, the presidents and the chancellors had voted 11-3 not to allow college football to be played in the Big Ten this fall. Okay? The 3 votes for playing college football this fall, Ohio State, you've got Iowa, and you've got Nebraska. The other 11 schools voted against it. And so you might be sitting back saying, okay, well, what would have to change in order for the Big Ten to be able to play? And we're going to unpack this a little bit throughout the conversation that we're going to have over the next 3 hours on this radio program. But you would need 6 Big Ten presidents or chancellors to change their votes. You would need the Big Ten to vote 9-5 in favor of playing in order for this actually to be able to take place. What is required in order for that to become a reality? A lot of political pressure. So if you are out there listening to me right now and you are a Big Ten football fan, I believe that a lot of the criticism that has rained down upon Kevin Warren is not supported. He's the current new Big Ten commissioner. I think a lot of your disdain and dismay needs to actually be directed at the chancellors and the presidents who voted by an 11-3 margin to shut down the Big Ten college football season. And so, if you are out there right now and you want to put pressure on the Big Ten chancellors and presidents to change their mind, you can go to Outkick.com. I'll tweet out this link. I put it up yesterday. You can go check it out at my Twitter feed, at Clay Travis. Everybody who is a voter that is part of that 11, the presidents of those universities that voted not to have college football played this fall, their feet need to be held to the fire. And I got to give credit to the President of the United States and also to the Commissioner of the Big Ten, Donald Trump and Kevin Warren, because to me, football is not partisan. And it shouldn't be partisan in any way. Democrat, Republican, Independent, I think regardless of what your background is, if you're listening to this program right now, you are in favor of college football being played probably in the Big Ten, unless you're an SEC fan. And by the way, the Mississippi Department of Transportation had one of the all-time great little messages above the interstate. If you missed it, they had Mississippi Department of Transportation, be like the Big Ten, stay home, and avoid gatherings. That was the phrase that was above the interstate yesterday morning as the day began in the state of Mississippi. You know you have put yourself in a bad spot when you are the laughingstock of the entire nation. We will get into this next with Joel Klatt. He's going to be our guest.